Dr. Ranganathan, why? Don't we deserve the truth?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my exalted fellow panelists. At the outset, can I just throw in a caveat that there are 4 amazing lawyers and 1 layman. So if after the debate I am found in contempt of the court, can one of them or all of them represent me pro bono? I'll be very grateful.
It will be my privilege.
Thank you very much. Look, I dare say, Rahul, there is more democracy in the RWA than in the judiciary. Bags of cash is found in a judge's home. And what steps are taken? An in-house probe, a nudge, a rap on the knuckles with a feather, a one-way ticket to another city court. I mean, has the Supreme Court suddenly turned into an investigative agency? Where is the FIR? Where is the suo moto thing to involve the investigative agencies, the CBI or the ED? If it was another citizen of this country, the Supreme Court would have acted almost immediately, ordered a probe. Is the Chief Justice of India now an investigative agent as well? I dare say I burned my bridges at the risk of contempt of the Supreme Court, and I think I have, with the 3 exalted lawyers out here and disagreeing with them vehemently, drilled a hole in my boat as well.
Viewers, I'm not scared tonight of sticking my neck out. The longer you stick it out, the longer, unfortunately, has to be the block, the thicker the block, and obviously the bigger the guillotine. So I am aware of this, but I am not tonight going to restrain myself behind a cloak of political correctness, because this is a pivotal moment, viewers, a pivotal, and I am really apprehensive, Dr. Ranganathan. I am apprehensive that tonight we are not calling out. We're going after the soft target. Once again, the executive, the political class, etc., because it costs us nothing. But I am not satisfied. Neither are many Indian citizens with how the collegium is equated. Forget citizens. The Allahabad bench, the bar rather, the Allahabad High Court bar is not satisfied. It is the one that has raised these issues, saying that how are judges sitting in judgment of judges? Why isn't an FIR been filed? Why? Dr. Ranganathan, why? Don't we deserve the truth?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my exalted fellow panelists. At the outset, can I just throw in a caveat that there are 4 amazing lawyers and 1 layman. So if after the debate I am found in contempt of the court, can one of them or all of them represent me pro bono? I'll be very grateful.
It will be my privilege.
Thank you very much. Look, I dare say, Rahul, there is more democracy in the RWA than in the judiciary. Bags of cash is found in a judge's home. And what steps are taken? An in-house probe, a nudge, a rap on the knuckles with a feather, a one-way ticket to another city court. I mean, has the Supreme Court suddenly turned into an investigative agency? Where is the FIR? Where is the suo moto thing to involve the investigative agencies, the CBI or the ED? If it was another citizen of this country, the Supreme Court would have acted almost immediately, ordered a probe. Is the Chief Justice of India now an investigative agent as well? The judicial system is broke. But I dare say today's debate, what's the solution? Throws more questions than answers, if I have to be honest, because let me explain. Number one, more than 50 million cases are pending in Indian courts, Rahul. At the current pace, it would take us 323 years to clear the backlog. Worse, out of these 182,000 cases are as old as 30 years. As many as 244,000 cases are of rape and child sex offences. India has just 20 judges per million population, worse than sub-Saharan Africa. 38% of High Court and 21% of judicial positions overall lie vacant. 76% of all prisoners are under trials. The wheels of justice aren't just grinding slowly, Rahul, they have come to a halt. And as I said, the entire system is broke. And one of the primary reasons is judicial appointments, as you said. Yes, of course, this system where judges appoint judges need a serious overhaul. Around 50% of High Court judges and 33% of Supreme Court judges are related to senior judicial members. Only 250 families have ever sent judges to the Supreme Court. Conflict of interest is rife. At one point of time, 34% of the judges of a High Court had relatives working as lawyers in the same place. CGI Khare admitted corruption was rampant in lower courts. 9 Supreme Court judges said there was corruption in higher judiciary. A fact disclosed in the Supreme Court itself. And yet, No one but the judiciary, through Article 235 as well as the 1997 declaration, can investigate judicial corruption. Quite obviously, judicial appointments need to be overseen by a neutral party. But here is the thing, please give me a minute. Are politicians neutral? Anything but. Anything but. Did you know the Congress blocked appointments of judges if they were in any way associated with the ideology of the RSS, or even so much as attended the funeral of an RSS person, as Justice Chandurkar did of Golwalkar? And let me not even go into how many Supreme Court verdicts did the Congress overturn because of appeasement and placating vote banks. The Shah Bano verdict, the bank nationalization verdict, to name but two. It is obvious that if they overturn a judge's verdict, they'd much rather not have that judge there in the first place. BJP and all other parties also cut from the same cloth. Make no mistake, Modi overturned the SC/ST Act verdict of Supreme Court with cross-party support. Given a chance, politicians will choose judges based on their ideological or religious predilection. 3. So what is the solution? A. In choosing judges, have not only a government representative but also a representative chosen by the leader of the opposition. But then again, there is a danger of cartelization as politicians look out for each other and they will scratch each other's back. B. Have a merit-based exam and interview for all judicial appointments, including the highest one. I mean, if we can choose scientists and cardiac surgeons as the highest position based on their merit, why not the judges? Are judges any less of lifesavers than doctors? That's the question to be pondered, Rahul.
Mr. Kalappa, how did this happen? This could not have happened without, money being recovered allegedly. Now, there is all sorts of disputes over where this money came from, this, that, the other. The people who are supposed to know, who are supposed to be custodians, somehow look away and that money also disappears. I don't understand what is going on. And I am told that it's okay for judges to sit in judgment of another judge. And it is okay. I don't even know if this would have been possible had all the judges been like all of us, like you and me, Mr. Kalappa, had to declare on the 31st of March your assets so the taxman can go over them, the taxwoman can go over them with a fine-tooth comb and haul you up. The problem is these exemptions. No one knows what anyone has got, from whom they have got, why they got. So, and we're supposed to think that the collegium is not responsible, that the Chief Justice is not responsible. They're all doing a nice job of investigating this matter. I don't know, Mr. Kalappa. Maybe I am the fool here.
Rahul, I think, thank you very much for having me on this extremely important subject. The first part is that as far as judges appointing themselves, as far as the fact that judges' relatives are overwhelmingly being appointed as judges, yes, it's true. It's also true that like the RAW used to be called, the relatives and wives wing, the judiciary is also, I think, predominantly comprises people from certain families. And this is certainly something which the judiciary must look at, we all must look at, and this is something which I think eventually there will be a time when this is actually corrected in some form or the other. But having said that, Rahul, I think as far as the current situation is concerned, there is a chief of the fire forces who said that no money was recovered, right? From that standpoint, I appreciate the fact that the Chief Justice of India has today made the videos public and has shown to the world at large that, look, these were the huge amounts of currency which were actually released. So if there was some attempt at a cover-up, that attempt at a cover-up was blown up by the Chief Justice's action. This is the first part. Second part is that how are the police involved? I don't foresee a situation where the three judges, like my friend, dear friend Nalin pointed out, two sitting Chief Justices and one senior judge of the Karnataka High Court is certainly going to take the police's help. There is no doubt about it. Let's not make a mistake on that count. They are certainly going to take the police's help. Whether there will be an FIR or not is finally left after the fact-finding is done and once the facts are before us. Now, the third part is, as far as this idea that, look, public sab janti hai, this is something which I believe with all my heart, that we all know who are the bad guys and who are the good guys. But this was a real surprise to all of us, that in, where we speak of certain judges as being bad, and then those judges, of course, have perhaps gone scot-free, and there are some good judges. But really, honestly speaking, I hadn't heard so much about this particular judge. So from that standpoint, I think we were all wrong that, we always get it right on public sub-janti hai. Now, the fourth part is, Rahul, the important part, that the judiciary has too much to lose and we as citizens have too much to lose if the entire sunlight was only shown on the judiciary. I think if some part of sunlight is also shown in the judiciary, then it's all right. But I think the judiciary is currently not in a situation where it can accept this kind of absolute transparency. I think we must give it to them because they have,
I think I've asked the wrong question on this debate tonight. I should have perhaps asked all of you before we began, how many of you have cases before the Chief Justice of India? I'm sorry, I'm being facetious here.
No, I honestly have no case before the Chief
question.
Justice of India.
But Rahul, that would
I
be
have nothing to
unfair
lose on this,
because-
please.
No, I'm just being
Let this not be a
facetious.
laughing matter.
Being
I have
facetious.
nothing to lose on
I
this.
also am having fun with
But
that.
given
I'm not
given
really
the
getting
fact
angry.
that the judiciary works a certain way, and the fact that in every case there is one winner and there is one loser.
True. But listen, all of these are nice platitudes, homilies, etc., etc. No one has answered my question. And Mr. Nalin Mehta, Nalin Kohli, I'm coming back to you once again. I have to ask you this question, please. Please tell me that judges sitting in this particular matter, in their own judgment or in the judgment of a colleague, even if they give a clean sheet, that decision will be above suspicion. Will it be, sir?
Let me first say, Rahul, I'll be very, very surprised if there is a clean chit because the facts of the case are such. I would rather say wait, but you can't expect them to speak in any manner till the inquiry is over. So I would be very surprised. I think we need to have that much respect. You're talking of the 5 senior most judges of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, Justice Sanjeev Khanna. And mind you, I must point this out. Justice Sanjeev Khanna is from the same family, H.R. Khanna. And remember, the whole collegium system actually came out because Justice H.R. Khanna was superseded by Mrs. Indira Gandhi in 1977 after the famous ADN Jabalpur case during emergency.
No,
and
one
the
second.
collegium
Hitesh Jain is also there.
process starts in 81.
One second,
Sir,
Hitesh Jain, I want
let
to
me
bring
just
you
finish.
back.
Let me
Are you
just
there?
finish.
Is Hitesh Jain there? Yes. One second. I think we've lost him. One second. Nalin Kohli, I want to come back to you and ask you a question. You said 5 senior most judges are there, part of this collegium. I remember a time when the BJP and others were quite aggrieved when 5 senior most judges held a press conference in the lawns of the Supreme Court. Do you remember that?
Quite rightly, even I think so.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I belong to the school of thought that says that judges should be, their work should speak for itself. So I have 3 points to make, let me close that.
Yeah.
The first point is that I think we need to wait for the inquiry to happen. And as I mentioned, there's not just Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna, there's Justice Gawai who will be the next Chief Justice.
True.
Justice Suryakant who will be the Chief Justice thereafter, Justice Oak, and then Justice Vikram Nath who will be Chief Justice thereafter. So I think we need to understand that they have every stake to ensure that the credibility of the institution does not shake. So I think we need to wait. That's the first point. Second, in any situation involving impropriety and financial impropriety or an allegation of a bribe, there are 2 parts to it. There's a giver and there's a recipient. We are talking about one part, which is the recipient.
We don't know. Allegedly.
The second part has to also come out, which is about, no, I'm just saying allegedly because as a lawyer, I'm trained to say that you have to say after the final verdict comes out. So it's not about me arriving at a decision on that. The second part is, there is obviously a giver. And that is equally pertinent and important, which I'm sure there is an investigation happening, even if it's not in the open, not by the court, but I'm sure the investigative agencies are looking at that. Because it can't be missed. Because if there is obviously a nexus of
what is the mandate?
Gaming the system or trying to game
they
the
don't
system,
even have an FIR on the basis
acceptable.
of which they can proceed. This is the problem, viewers.
You
Which
don't need an
investigative
FIR
agency?
Always, Rahul. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you don't
well,
always need an FIR.
Well, viewers, what if that giver is given to everybody?
Leading to an FIR.
What if that giver is given to everybody? How do we know? We don't know. Yeah, very quickly. Jay Anand, Dehadra, and then Doctor.
Very quickly. Yeah. No, I think I really agree with the point that Mr. Kohli just made.
Yeah.
I think there is a major problem in Delhi, maybe all major cities, where there are these wheeler dealers and fixers who are operating and who are cutting deals and sort of, very sleazy people. Some of them also have political connections
Okay.
and have, been in that sort of, have operated in those circles.
No,
All I'm
givers,
saying is,
yes,
but I'm agreeing with you that if there are such people and if there are such givers, let that entire nexus be shattered once
But
and for all.
how? If those givers are giving to
I'll
everybody,
tell you how. Because
and
once the committee, Rahul, I'll answer that. There's a technical answer to that. But if you just give me a moment, I agree with you. There has to be a deeper investigation and probe. I completely agree. But the committee that is formulated, you see, judges, of course, have all the powers available to them. But the statutory committee that is envisaged under the Judges Inquiry Act, in fact, has the powers of a civil court. They can summon anyone, take evidence on oath, and they can, of course, take the aid and assistance of any instrumentality of the state.
Okay.
So I'm not in disagreement with anybody here. I'm only saying that judges, there's a just because it is a judge, it cannot mean that there is public outrage and therefore the man should be hung because some photographs have come out. No, he is equally, if not more, entitled to a very fair adjudication. Until that result does not come out, we should not condemn the man.
I'm
That's
not
all.
condemning anybody.
Not you, you. I'm not saying to you, but anybody.
Yeah, I'm just condemning right now a system which a lot of people have lost trust in. Doctor, yes, 30 seconds, then move on. Yeah.
I dare say I burned my bridges at the risk of contempt of the Supreme Court, and I think I have, with the three exalted lawyers out here and disagreeing with them vehemently, drilled a hole in my boat as well. Because let me be honest, we Indians, we understand what is conflict. We understand what is interest. But I'm afraid not when it is separated by preposition. The basic premise of any justice is that the judges cannot judge the judges. As simple as that. Where is the FIR? Where is the order to have an CBI investigate this matter? How come the judges are there after 10 days investigating another judge? That to me as a layman is unacceptable. I think I'm have to fight my own case of contempt.
And I'll be judging, viewers. I'll be judging personally. I'll be judging. I'll be very, very happy
Anand,
if tomorrow,
Dr. Anand, you can actually fight your own case because lawyers are to assist. If you decide to do it yourself,
okay,
nobody would stop you.
As long as the courts are willing to give him 30 seconds. But he may not get those 30 seconds from the court. But viewers, I would like to see.
I must make sure he's eloquent.
Okay, but I would like to see. I would like to see viewers, the judges taking matters into their own hands from here on, and the Chief Justice of India declaring that everybody has to at least, as of this moment, declare their assets, and it is mandatory to do so. Let's at least walk that talk. Forget about all the investigation. We'll be happy with just that.